Hello, thank you for joining me. This week we're going to do something different. We're going to cover an intimate partner homicide that happened in another country. Intimate partner homicide happens all over the world all of the time. And while I can't possibly cover them all, this is another headlining big name person that I want to bring attention to because it shows how much intimate partner violence and intimate partner homicide is not specific for a particular type of person. Today we're going to talk about Nathalie Maillet, who was 51, who was murdered alongside of her alleged mistress or partner, Lawrence Durviaux, by her husband Franz Dubois in their home in a double murder-suicide. This happened on Sunday, August 15th, according to a police statement at 0:10 hours. I'm assuming that is 12:10 a.m. for those of us in America. The bodies of 2 women and 1 man were discovered by police in a house in Gouvier, Belgium, all 3 presenting gunshot wounds. According to our information, the male individual voluntarily used his firearm to kill both women, including his wife, before killing himself.
Belgium's Spa-Francorchamps circuit has been shocked to its core with news that its CEO, Nathalie Maillet, has died aged 51 in what has been reported as a double murder-suicide.
Now, one publication said that he actually called the police after killing the women before he shot himself. If that is not the case, then I've seen it publicly wondered, how did the police know that this had happened? That becomes a bigger question when you consider the timeline. So it has been widely reported that he shot these 2 women after finding them in bed. The clickbaity titles for articles around this case are that he found Nathalie in bed with another woman and that she was cheating on him, and in this violent, crazy rage, he couldn't handle his anger anymore and he shot them both. And police say that Dubois confronted the women who were in the bedroom at the time that the shooting happened. So that part follows what the police have reported. However, it has also been reported that the 3 of them had dinner earlier on that evening, Saturday, August 14th. In fact, according to newsweep.com, I think is how you pronounce it, Nathalie, Ann, and Franz went to the restaurant together. Actually, according to Ann's brother, Franz is the one who orchestrated the evening where they had dinner together at Leo's restaurant in Baston, maybe is how you pronounce that. Pardon my terrible French accent. It's so bad. Quote, to celebrate his birthday, that of his marriage to Nathalie, as well as that of the lawyer. It reports that the 2 women had actually formalized their union with Franz a month before the incident happened, which starkly contrasts that whole found them in a jealous rage thing. Now, does that mean that he couldn't have been jealous and that couldn't have been the motive for this murder? Absolutely not. In fact, he might have been stewing on it for a month and then went and murdered them. But that then becomes premeditated murder. Not that it matters now because they're not going to charge him with it because he's dead. But it's a whole different ballgame from I lost my mind and temporary insanity moment when I saw them together. In fact, one source says that the couple was actually separated and living separately for 5 years before this incident happened. But it doesn't say where that information came from, so I am only including that not as factual information, but just as a way to show you that it's really difficult for us to know. It's interesting, when people are broke and not famous, then there can be limited information that comes out because nobody knows anything, because the women are often really cut off from their friends and their family, and a lot of people don't know anything about what's going on. When you have these more high-profile cases, people may or may not know things, but nobody is saying anything because there's very much control over the image. So they may have been separated and living separately and been controlling that image so that it still looked like they were together all of this time. I don't know where that information came from. Or they may have still been married and still been living together, and maybe he found them that night and Ann's brother is lying. But I doubt it. I am inclined to believe her brother, because why would he say that a month before? That sounds to me like something that a close friend or relative would have information privy to that, everybody everybody else doesn't. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce Mr. Leonard, the mayor of Gouvois, said in a statement that he was warned around 2:30 in the morning by police that a double murder followed by a homicide had been committed in the home. So take that as you will. And obviously an investigation is still continuing to be going on. There are people that are responding to the news articles insinuating, well, what if Nathalie is the one that shot him and her mistress? Or what if it was him and his mistress? But that doesn't seem to be the case, and that's certainly not what the police believe. So not really any information on the history of this couple as far as a couple goes. Nathalie was born on May 11th of 1970. Her father was a race car driver and her uncles directed a racing circuit. Then she married Franz and he was also a race car driver. She became an architect, and then when she was 33, she actually became a race car driver herself. That was in 2004, and then in 2016 she took over being the director of the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps. That's as close as I'm going to get, in Belgium, where the Belgian F1 Grand Prix is held. And she held that position until she passed away. Franz was also a well-known figure in the world of racing because he was a team owner, as well as the co-founder of the VW Fun Cup series, in addition to having been a driver before. But I can't find any information on when they were married, any of the circumstances surrounding their marriage, or actually either one of their parents or identities for their siblings. So their information has been kept very out of the public, and it doesn't appear that they have any children. It is with great sadness that the team of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit have been informed of the death of Nathalie Maillet, CEO, reads a brief statement from the circuit. On this very sad day, the whole staff wished to present their most sincere condolences to Nathalie's family and friends. The circuit, but also motor racing, has lost today a passionate woman, strong in her convictions, and always looking to the future. In a tweet, F1 Media called the news awful, and it expressed its deepest condolences to her family and friends. The motorsport community has lost an incredible person. We will all miss her greatly. The NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, which is the official NASCAR series in Europe, also commented on the tragedy. Our hearts are broken by the tragic passing of Nathalie Maillet. She was a fierce competitor and a wonderful member of the Euro NASCAR family. She will be deeply missed. The chairman of the board of directors of the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps, whose name I'm not even going to attempt to butcher, I apologize. I'm trying to not butcher your name, said, "My thoughts are with Nathalie's family, her parents, her relatives, but also her teams. I know how this news will upset her staff, and I wish on behalf of the entire board of directors to offer my sincere condolences to the entire circuit team. Today we are losing a very great lady, a motorsports lover and enthusiast, a true leader who will be sorely missed. Nathalie had become the face of the circuit. She embodied this passion for racing that we all share." The FIA, F1's governing body, also expressed condolences. The FIA has been saddened to learn of the tragic death of Nathalie Maillet. On behalf of the entire motorsport community, we wish to extend our condolences to her family and friends. I want to take a moment to also read about Anne, because I can see her very easily getting lost in the drama and intrigue and scandal. Now, whether she was her lover, or she was a mistress, or she was a friend, I can't speak to that, I don't know. But I do know that she was a person, and from what I've read, it sounds like a pretty wonderful person. So I want to read you just a little bit about her. She was an attorney out of Brussels. She was also a professor at the University of Liège, maybe. She had climbed up through the ranks at the university. She was very passionate about teaching, and she was passionate about research, and she was passionate about practicing law. The university put out a statement on their website. I will link to that in the description. And I would just want to include the end of it because I feel like it summed it up really beautifully. Anne was a talented jurist, renowned researcher, and appreciated teacher who was very involved in the life of the university. The emptiness she leaves behind only gives a glimpse of the emptiness experienced by her family and friends, to whom the University of Liège sends its deepest and most sincere condolences. It sounded like they really valued her a lot. And it's tragic that this is not a new thing. Intimate partner homicide is not new, and other people dying because they happen to be around partner or the ex-partner when they die is not new. And I will continue to work to bring that to the light, the commonality of all of this, and the red flags and ways that hopefully you can prevent it from happening to you or to somebody that you know. Until I see you again, please stay safe.